Recording in progress.
All right. All right. Happy Lunch and Learn, everyone. It's Tuesday, November 26th. And today we have our guests are the Protect PT staff. Go ahead and wave, everybody. We're in this presentation, we always use the November Lunch and Learn presentation to really get to know the staff that has been working so hard this year to really be able to connect with our stakeholders, all the folks that are here watching live, and then also the folks that are going to be watching afterwards. So thank you all for following our Lunch and Learn throughout the year. And so we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna introduce our first person, Natalie Ford. And Natalie, if you go ahead and introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hello everybody. My name is Natalie Ford. I am the project coordinator with Protect PT. Some background on me. So, I am a recent 2024 graduate of W&J College. Graduated with my bachelor's of arts in environmental studies and public policy, as well as a minor in nonprofit management. So, kind of primarily on the environmental and human health harms caused by the petrochemical industry. So that's kind of what really drove me to this organization and to this type of work, because that's kind of the issue areas we focus on here. So at Protect PT, I specifically coordinate community projects, events, and campaigns. I also assist in grant writing and grant project creation. That definitely takes up a good chunk of my time. And then I also help coordinate our internship program as well. Outside of Protect PT, I am a extremely devoted dog parent to my wonderful pup, Roman. He is a Bichon Frise. He's 11 years old, and he is the light of my life. You can see him in my pictures there. Of course, he takes up 50% of them. Why wouldn't he? I also love to collect records. I have a very extensive collection and go record shopping almost every other weekend. And I also love to jam on the piano, and I'm trying to relearn guitar. So, yeah, that's some fun stuff about me. Without further ado, we'll talk about my job. So I have a couple pictures here just showing some stuff that I do. So largely in my role, I spend a lot of my time coordinating events for our community. So here I have two pictures featuring an event that I absolutely love, which is Monarchs on the Move. So this is it's technically a kids education event, but it can be, targeted to any demographic there, any age group. So we get to tag in these monarch butterflies, and it's very great. Some other events that I help coordinate are art events. So you might have seen our Art in the Environment event back in September featuring Sierra Weir. So we got to showcase a lot of original artwork, have a lovely reception as well. Um, and I also helped put together different things and messaging for different tabling events as well. So one example of this would be our participation in the Penn Township Fall Festival this year, back in September. So I got to create the T-shirts, I got to create a banner, I got to help with the table setup and kind of our messaging there of what we wanted to deliver at the Fall Festival. Um, I would have pictures of grant writing if I could share the grants and pictures of me writing, but I don't think that would be too terribly interesting. So I won't bore you all. But yeah, that is pretty much what I do. And without further ado, we can move on to the next person.
Hello, everybody. My name is May. I am the sustainability coordinator. I went to Chatham University where I earned my Bachelor of Arts in Sustainability. There, I focused a lot on community development and I also got a German minor while I was there because I really love culture. I've always been very interested in how people can work together to make sustainable change. So at Protect PT, I do a good bit, but the abridged version is that I have the wonderful opportunity to support the Reimagine Food Systems and Native Urban Garden Stewardship programs. We lovingly shorten those to RIFs and NUGs. Um, so essentially, these are backyard programs that support low income folks in Westmoreland and Allegheny County. And it's my job to oversee those programs and help the garden coordinators who are actually getting down and dirty as much as I can. So a lot of admin work there. I also facilitate meetings with partner organizations and with the community as well. We are in the process of doing strategic planning, so we have done visioning sessions, and we are also having meetings with local organizations that do similar work. So yeah, I do a lot of meetings. I also plan and host TICWAC events, so I'm kind of somewhere in between Natalie and Grace's job, and I'm able to plan out events for the community. Um, there's a lot of heaviness to this work, so I take pride in planning events that kind of take that pressure off of environmental activism. It can be very tiring. So, yeah, I'm very happy to bring the community together in a more positive light. But outside of Protect PT, I am a big performer. I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to go out with friends. You know, I'm a big dancer, so any opportunity I can get, music or not. I am also a proud parent of two kitties. They are the light of my life as well. So that is Valkyrie and Huckleberry. Valkyrie's the little black kitty, and Huckleberry is the white and gray one. Yeah, they're my angels, so they keep me company. Next slide, please. I'm really excited to talk about my work. So, Reimagine Food Systems is the foundation, I would say, to Turtle Creek watershed and airshed communities. So, there are three facets of sustainability, and that is environmental, social, or community, and economical. And I think often people only think of the environmental, but it's really important to take into account how important communities are to this work. And I want to share a little anecdote from a gardener. So they unfortunately, after joining our program, they were put into the hospital. I won't go into detail for their anonymity, but what I think is really beautiful about this program is that their neighbors came together to keep their garden going. So not only was the gardener able to be positively impacted by this, but so were the neighbors. And from that same gardener, I got a story that there were cucumbers that were growing into their neighbor's yard, and they were very happy to share because, as you can see in the photos, we have very big, beautiful gardens, and I'm very, very proud of them. Also, in the top right corner is a photo from Duff Park. So I do host fun events like hikes, and we just had a paint and sip. So if you're interested in having a little bit of fun, go to reimagineticwac.org and see what we have going on. I will plug our native plant winter sowing event that we have coming up we have one in January and February, because I've talked a lot about Reimagine Food Systems, but Native Urban Garden Stewardship is also really important to TICWAC because instead of providing food, it's providing pollinators with the nourishment and just the little areas to stop along their journeys. And it also beautifies the area. So we work in Allegheny County for NUGS, and I think that's really important too. I think that it's really important to not understate how important green space is for folks, to their mental health. So we do a lot of good work, and I'm very proud to be at the forefront of it. And that's all from me.
Excellent. Next up, we have Emily.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Nisley. I am the communications manager for Protect PT. I am coming upon 1 year with Protect PT, so that is so exciting. I can't believe it's already been a year. Time really does fly. I graduated in 2023 from the University of Pittsburgh, and I majored in psychology and sociology, and I also acquired minors in history and gender and women's studies. Those things are not related to the environment directly necessarily, but I had worked previously in nonprofit spaces, and I always kind of had a passion for the environment. I actually started my high school's environmental club, so I was really eager to join this organization and kind of fulfill that passion of mine. And as communications manager, while I'm not, out in the field very often, I still get to do my part. I kind of oversee all of the communications between our organization and the community in a very broad sense. Obviously, everyone on our team does their part, and we, as an organization that only has a small staff, we all contribute to communications in our own ways. So not every social media post may be from me directly, but I will be the person kind of overseeing everything. I'm kind of in charge of strategy generally, and just kind of maintaining our collective organizational brand. So some things that I'll have my hands on are email, social media, newsletters, brochures. Some of those things more directly than others, but I oversee those things more generally. I also am the person that manages a lot of the individual giving campaigns. So, for example, we have our upcoming Give Big campaign. So, Giving Tuesday is December 3rd, and we participate in Give Big Pittsburgh, which is super, super exciting. I realize I'm plugging it as I'm talking about it because I'm so excited about it, but we have a really, really generous match pool from a very, very generous donor. And so all donations through the Give Big platform will be met 3-to-1. So I'm really, really excited, and we can provide more information about that maybe towards the end. But yeah, I oversee things like that. And if you ever donate to Protect PT, chances are that you will get a handwritten note from me thanking you for your donation, your contribution. I am, the person who is kind of in charge of managing all of that. And I also, like Natalie, play a large role in doing the grant making for the organization. Outside of Protect PT, I have my hobbies. I love to read. I have a Kindle that I use religiously. I've been getting very into yoga. So I say aspiring because there are still some poses that maybe I haven't mastered yet, but I'm getting there. I also have a little plant collection that I love dearly. I love going to concerts, and I love animals. You can see in my pictures I'm holding a little lamb in Ireland, and that was very fun. And there's some penguins. Some of these pictures include my partner, Kevin. So we love traveling and doing animal things, which I guess has appeared a couple times here. If you could go to the next slide then, thank you. So yeah, here's some examples of some stuff. So here's the example of the last newsletter. This was the fall newsletter. This newsletter is mailed to members, as well as people in our local area. It will just talk about our recent events, recent happenings, whether it be our legal wins, or updates to our environmental monitoring program, just any sort of updates on a quarterly basis. We will mail those out. There's a form on our website where you can sign up to be added to our mailing list for that as well. So I am the one who kind of puts that together with the help from the staff. I also have a picture of our Instagram here. Like I said, I kind of oversee our social media. There's a picture of me and Jillian from our anniversary party. Before I was communications manager, I was project coordinator, and I organized our anniversary party this April, and I'm super excited for what Natalie puts together for this upcoming year for our 10th anniversary. And yeah, over on this right-hand side is a picture of our tree. This is a new program that we are kind of putting in place. This is just a way that we can show appreciation to all of our donors. So donors will be able to opt out of this program if they wish to remain anonymous, but otherwise they will have their name added to our tree throughout the course of the year. So this will be starting January 1st, 2025. So by the end of the year, we can see kind of a visualization of all of the support that we have from the community. And, you know, I think the tree is not just kind of an obvious environmental symbol, but it also shows that, I mean, there's also associations with the Giving Tree, but it also shows that, you know, we get our nutrients from the community. We rely on the community, and at its core, it's a grassroots community organization. So I think it kind of just symbolizes that. So look forward to, if you ever go into our office in 2025, you'll see this tree and you'll be able to check it out. But yeah, I think that is a good overview for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Emily. Tom, you're up next.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Tom Pike. I'm the environmental policy advocate with Protect PT. I graduated from CMU with a degree in creative writing, and my job at Protect PT is mainly revolving around oil and gas waste, but really it revolves around any particular weaknesses of the gas industry that you know, if they're polluting somebody's backyard, if they are planning to drill under parks, if they are planning to put an injection well into somebody's community that's going to poison people's drinking water, those are priority items for me. And I look for various tools that can be used against them. So typically we work at the local level. I also research and try to implement policies at the state level, particularly around gas waste. And occasionally we will make comments at the federal level as well, but our efforts are primarily focused at the local and secondarily at the state level. There are various different tools that we can use at various different times. And as a small organization with a small staff, we can't do all of them every time. So I help pick our battles, and I help determine which tool is appropriate for a given task. Maybe one of these gas projects is best opposed with a comment. Maybe it's best opposed with legal action. Maybe one of these circumstances requires a petition or a bunch of people show up to a meeting of county commissioners. Right to know requests, all of these things are tools that we have to have in our toolkit. So I help find the right one for any given situation. Outside of Protect PT, a few of my hobbies there on the side. I'm that little truck, I'm working with my friends, and I've been doing this for like 3 years, so I have no idea when we'll be done, but we're trying to convert it into an electric vehicle. Currently we have removed the engine, and so we we built the electric circuit, but it's not in the car. So basically we've ruined a car. The solar panels that's in my backyard, and my uncles and I built the pergola that it stands on. I publish occasionally solar punk short fiction, and then there's pictures of my cat and a Russian film, because I love learning languages and watching movies, and then me proposing to my fiance this summer in Mongolia. We can go to the next slide. So these are some of my prouder moments with Protect PT. In the upper left, that is us, me, Jillian, and Grace at the Capitol recently, fighting for protective buffers between fracking wells in people's homes. And we are allowed to do a certain amount, it's a small amount of lobbying. And so part of my job is determining when it is worth doing that, when it's worth jumping through the hoops necessary to do that. This is one of those occasions. This is like people's health, people's safety is on the line. The picture to the right is me testifying at a hearing of the Energy Committee of the Pennsylvania State House about an issue called road spreading, which is just wild if you haven't heard of it. The gas industry, in fact, spreads their radioactive waste on your public roads, and this is considered legal. So I was encouraging that practice to no longer be legal. If you want to learn more about that, you can watch the whole video. It is really eye-opening and kind of scary. That is on our website under the oil and gas waste page. And then there's my fiance and I at the anniversary party of Protect PT. And in the lower right, that is us after a very good day. That's me and Jillian, some of our allies from other organizations, having fought for MAWC, the Municipal Authority of Westmoreland County, to treat, when they sell water to fracking corporations, we ask them to treat it differently than they treat your water, because fracking corporations don't give the water back in a usable state. And we got them to agree to raise the price that they charge fracking corporations for that water. So that was a big win for me. And then one last thing before I wrap up, the next thing that's coming up is really exciting. On December 2nd in the evening, and this is on our events page, you can find it there. I will be teaching with one of our board members, Lois. I will be teaching a run for office training that is geared towards candidates for local office. If you've ever wondered what the process is like for running for office in your local municipality, in your local town, we aim to demystify it. And that's it for me.
Tom, do you want to really quickly talk about the EQB petition before we move on to Yvonne?
With protective buffers?
Yep.
Yeah. So what we were doing in Harrisburg basically was we were telling legislators that we weren't waiting on them anymore. We had gone to Harrisburg several times to push legislators to do the right thing and introduce a bill that would put buffers between people's houses and fracking wells. And we got some support, but there's also a lot of inertia there. And us and our allies and community members who've been affected by this got tired of waiting. And so we found a different tool that was appropriate to the task, which is we're going to make a rule through DEP, the Department of Environmental Protection, that is going to do the same thing in a regulatory way. And we were going to Harrisburg basically to say, we're doing it with or without you. So you can hop on the bandwagon. You can introduce a bit, you can move forward the bill that's been introduced, or just heads up, we're doing it with or without you.
Awesome. And so I'm going to try to find the link to that. Tom, if you find the link to that, if you could just send that to me, I'll put it in the chat while we talk to Yvonne. Yvonne, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yvonne Soravaku. I work at Protect PT as the environmental scientist. And I've been here since February 2023. And I started my path really as a little tomboy in the woods who just loved being in the woods, jumping around streams, paying attention to all of the nature around me. But eventually that led me to get a BS in biology from VCU in Richmond, Virginia. And then I got an environmental studies degree for my master's all the way out in Montana, at University of Montana in Missoula. My focus there was actually informed by many years of different community activism. And I was very much concerned about pollution and how different industries impact communities and what they leave behind when they're gone. So my focus there was really looking at groundwater pollution from a legacy of precious ore mining and how it impacted this one rural community. So issues that are very relevant to what we deal with here in Pennsylvania. So years later, I ended up here working at Protect PT, which just seemed like the perfect fit. And I'm really passionate about ensuring that we have a healthy and clean environment where all of our neighbors can thrive. We as humans are a very young species on this planet. and we inherited a planet that was capable of sustaining our lives, a very stable and rich and fertile planet that was capable of sustaining our lives. So I definitely come from the position that we can learn a lot from our older relatives and neighbors. That's what I call all of our different species on the planet with us. And at Protect PT, I run multiple environmental monitoring programs. I also contribute to comments, articles, and permit reviews. And I support the work of all of my coworkers, right? They support me with their specific tasks and skills, things that I'm not very good at. And I support them with accurate and relevant scientific information, the places where it can really, inform their work. And help make decisions. And so they get to do a lot of the communication, a lot of the outreach, a lot of building the positive things in our community. I get to focus on looking closely at the problems. So that's what a lot of my monitoring work does. We do radon testing, we do air monitoring, noise monitoring, water monitoring. So I'll talk about those a little bit more on the next slide. But outside of Protect PT, I'm a new homeowner, so I'm doing a lot of tinkering on my house. It's very hard to choose colors. I read a lot of nonfiction to learn more about my world. I'm really trying to become fluent in another language besides English, and right now that language is Spanish. I'm slowly getting there. And I really enjoy exploring. Green spaces, museums, performances, restaurants. So the pictures you see, like some of these are me enjoying some things around Pittsburgh, whether it's Randyland or a good bike ride on a local trail or some delicious cappuccino, or some of the interesting life organisms that live in Frick Park. So we can go to the next slide. So these are some representations of the work that I do. I deal a lot with scientific data. I go out into the field a lot. In the middle there, that picture, that is actually me with some interns. I work with a lot of interns, and we go out into the field and do water sampling. One of the really cool things about this past year is that we were able to use a new piece of equipment called a sonde, which unfortunately I didn't put in that image, but we've had new water sampling capabilities, which is very exciting. We do work around the injection well. We do some work around a landfill down in Westmoreland that has had a lot of violations. And we have also been developing some relationships with a community in Pitcairn, PA. They've had a lot of issues that have been getting worse related to their air quality. So I'm very excited that this year we partnered with them, with their fire department, to actually take samples of the air when it's not in great shape, when the residents notice the terrible smells. And we were able also to pull in another nonprofit organization to assist us with that. So we created this collaboration between these three groups that hopefully will get those folks some answers. We started our EPA funded program, the Clean Air for All program, that looks at air quality in Plum and around the Westmoreland Santa Fe landfill and around the Cleveland Cliffs Coke Works. People there have dealt with pollution for many years and have not had answers. So we have access to new tools that hopefully will give them specific answers about what they are breathing in. So that is very exciting to me. Also testing for PFAS. We have started doing that in the past year. That's that forever chemical that the EPA recently discovered is a big issue. So we have the capability to test for that in water. That has been very exciting to me. And I'm now certified to test radon. So we've had lots of big developments in our program here in environmental science. I can now go into somebody's home, deploy a radon monitor, give them a professional grade test, and potentially help them prevent people in their family from getting lung cancer. So that makes me feel very good. Yeah, so that's a representation of some of the work I've done. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat if towards the end you would like me to answer them.
Great. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Yeah. And for those tuning in, if you missed it, I'm putting all the links in the chat to stuff that folks are talking about. Also, I'm going to share with you our events page at the end, and we're going to go over some events that are upcoming, which is really exciting. But now I'm going to introduce the newest member of our team, Dylan. Go ahead, Dylan.
Hello, sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan Basescu. I'm a staff attorney with Protect PT. Like Jillian said, I'm a little bit new. I started this job in September, and I recently found out that I've passed the bar exam in the District of Columbia. That actually happened since I made this, so this should be updated a little bit, but I'll soon be able to waive into the state of Pennsylvania and begin practicing law there. I graduated from the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. in 2021 with degrees in physics and political science. And this is sort of a way to pursue both of those. You know, we do a lot of technical work here, and we also do a lot of research and writing and advocacy. And so I think it's really important to have a background in both. I graduated in 2024 from the George Washington University Law School with a significant amount of coursework in environmental law and participation in environmental events and conferences. At Protect PT, what I'm doing is a lot of stuff on the local level, consistent with what the organization is doing with their legal strategy. A lot of that is drafting the legal filings and communications along with our outside attorneys, who have just been fantastic and have been wonderful mentors so far, and I hope going forward. I circulate internal memoranda to the staff and to particular staff members on a lot of issues. Just recently, we worked with an issue around making sure that our canvassers could go and visit people safely door to door and make sure that they knew their rights when they were out in the community in relation to free speech and free association. So we want to make sure that, you know, when we're engaging with the community, we're respecting all of our legal rights. And then I also advise Protect PT's staff and board on legal strategy and litigation options. So a lot of times there is a lot going on, and we have to be selective and conscious about what we're doing and where we're focusing our efforts and how we're going to focus them and coordinate with other partner organizations and institutions. That is all stuff that has an aspect in policy and has an aspect in money, but it also has an aspect in law. And so I give the advice that I can on making sure that we're making those decisions wisely and getting the wins that we can get. Outside of Protect PT, I play tennis. I like to cook at home. So if anyone has a suggestion for a new recipe, I am absolutely welcome to try it out. And I am planning on moving to Pittsburgh in December. So actually on December 13th, same day as the Protect PT holiday party, I will be moving up to unpack my things and meet all of you lovely folks. And I look forward to getting to know all of you much, much better.
Great. Thank you so much, Dylan. And I do have a good recipe for you. I'll give it to you after. I actually brought some leftovers for lunch today. So next up, we have Jim, our community advocate. Go ahead, Jim. If you need to unmute, Jim.
Sorry about that. I'm a little bit technologically challenged. I am the community advocate. My name is Jim Serralano, and I joined Protect PT in December of 2021. So my 3-year anniversary of hiring is coming up in a very few days. I graduated from Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania, way back in 1979. I had a Bachelor of Arts in theater, and I actually worked in theater until I was about 28. I was originally working at the Pittsburgh Playhouse, designing their settings and lights for the productions that they put on at the Playhouse, which was then in Oakland, in Pittsburgh. And shortly after that, I joined an experimental theater company called the Iowa Theater Lab. And we would write our own plays, and we would direct them and mount them and take them on the road. After that, I decided that it wasn't going to make enough money for me, so I went to law school and I graduated from Duquesne University School of Law in 1991. Immediately after graduating, I began private practice. I hung a shingle out and I began doing mostly civil litigation. I had clerked for an insurance defense firm during my law school years, so I had a good background in litigation, and I did that right up until I joined Protect PT back in 2021. So at Protect PT, I coordinate our legal responses to industry actions with outside counsel. So, for instance, one of the things that we did recently that we were very successful on is we appealed to the Environmental Hearing Board the grant of an air permit that would have allowed the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill to install an evaporator to manage their leachate problem. So leachate is something that occurs at landfills, at all landfills, and basically when it rains on top of a landfill, which is basically a garbage dump, the water comes through the landfill and it kind of makes like a garbage tea. It's kind of gross, but that's kind of what happens. What happened at Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill is they began to accept fracking waste. And the fracking waste consisted of drill cuttings and earth that was brought up from 5,000, 6,000 feet underground. And one of the characteristics of that waste is that when it comes up from that depth, it is radioactive. It has radon 228 and 226, radium 228 and 226. And that exists in that dirt and in that waste, and there are tons of that waste. And so the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill began to accept that waste, and as a result, their leachate became radioactive. Other landfills, and in the past, the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill had been able to dispose of its leachate through the Bell Vernon Water and Sewer Authority. It would be treated just like regular human waste and put back into the rivers and into the watershed. Once they began to accept the fracking waste, however, and the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill's leachate became radioactive, it killed all the beneficial bacteria that existed in the Bell Vernon Sewer Authority. And so they were forced to stop transmitting their leachate to the sanitary facility for treatment. And then they had to begin trucking it away. They began trucking it away in 2019. And that's not an acceptable method of transmitting or taking away leachate for treatment. So they were cited multiple times. Multiple consent orders were entered into between the DEP and the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill in an effort to get the landfill to comply with the applicable law. When they finally could not do that, the DEP and the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill concocted a remedy whereby they proposed to install an evaporator, which would have heated the leachate, which is water with solids, and evaporated into the air. Now, unfortunately, that wouldn't necessarily take care of getting the radioactivity out of the water, and instead of having radioactive water, you will have radioactive water vapor that would be transmitted far and wide. Well, we appealed that in front of the Environmental Appeals Board, and the DEP and also the Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill decided that they'd had enough of that, and they withdrew their application for the permit. And so now they're not going to allow that any longer. I do a lot of other things around here. We work on ordinances. We work on appeals from permits that are granted. I also liaise with other community members and other organizations. In my free time, I like the outdoors. I like to hike. I like to boat. Those are my daughters. We were on a trip to Yosemite National Park a couple of years ago. We did a 90-mile backpacking trip. It took us about 10 days. And I enjoy traveling to different places. I like museums. I attend concerts. I just saw Jillian Welsh and David Rawlings last night, and I saw Yvonne there. So that's kind of what I do here. There you see me in my role as a community advocate. I am liaising with the public, explaining how things are done, what to say, for instance, at a community meeting in the upper left-hand corner. The lower right-hand corner, I had taken around a group of Swedish journalists and explained to them what we did. And in the right-hand side, I was taking around a public source reporter and photographer to see the landfill that we were just talking about. And that's all I got.
All right, great. Thank you, Jim. Next up is Grace.
Hello, all. I am Grace DeWallow. I am the community organizer here at Protect PT. I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh in April of 2023. I majored in public and professional writing, minored in political science, and I have a sustainability certificate. And I highlight my favorite part of college. I was working at the Pitt News as an opinions editor for 3 semesters because it was just a very valuable part of my life. And I actually didn't include it here, but I freelance for Pittsburgh City Paper still to this day. So putting my writing degree to use, even as an organizer. At Protect PT, I am in charge of getting information out to folks to educate, engage, and mobilize them, similar as many other community organizers, needing to create engaging social media materials, other outreach materials for not only a number of different campaigns, but also for different audiences, organizing in, the landscape of technology and especially more rural communities, it can be difficult. So having different methods of outreach is definitely imperative to the work that we do here. I organize and host community events. So Yvonne had previously mentioned the EPA grant that we've been working on, and I've held some community events around that, creating informational slides, getting information out to the public, compiling binders with resources, things like that. And I also create educational materials around fracking, which I will show you a little bit of on the next page. Outside of Protect PT, I take care of my 3 boys. You can see there, the dog is River, and the little brown kitty he's with is Big, and then the black and white one is Alistair. They're my pride and joy, and also the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm sure all pet owners feel that. But I also love to craft outside of work. I'm not the greatest at it, but it is a fun exercise. And it even goes into sustainability, being able to have the things that you have and be able to create something new from it. And gifting, the holidays are coming up. I've been crafting for my friends. So it's a great way that I can kind of fuse my interests and, my environmental interest at work as well. And I also tend to my plants, not even just at home, but also in the office. And there I am in Ireland. You can see me with pigeons. I'm a big pigeon fan. I love them, especially brown pigeons. When the gentleman placed the brown pigeon on me, it became the best day of my life. And then there is me and my partner, Jack. We are at a Pens game, and unfortunately, the Pens are doing absolutely terrible this year. So, a little bit unfortunate. But anyways, you can go to the next slide, Jillian. So in the upper left-hand corner, there is me demonstrating. We have here at Protect PT a DIY HEPA air filter. So these air filters can cost hundreds of dollars. We did a little workshop at one of our EPA community meetings, showing folks how they can create this air filter that reduces particulate matter pollution in their homes for cheap. And then the picture next to that in the middle is the turnout at the last meeting in Penn Township. If you're a Penn Township resident and you don't know yet about rezoning, Penn Township is trying to rezone a part of their rural resources district into industrial commerce, and it goes against the interest of residents and also will convert open fields, open spaces into industrial parks. And at the bottom there, same picture that Tom had used when we had gone to, me, him, and Jillian had gone to the Capitol to promote protective buffers, because Pennsylvania is the second largest gas producing state in the country. And we have not done enough to protect the citizens of the Commonwealth from the harms of this industry that has been running rampant for 20 years. So that was really wonderful to be able to experience, talk to legislators about, and that's also information that I can relay back to the community, and it goes to strengthen our organization's goals. And when we're coming back, well, what are you doing for this issue? We're really here at the local level, at the state level, trying to make change. And then as you can see there, those are my little fact sheets that I like to make. I did a radioactivity and fracking one, and fracking and economics. A lot of this information is not publicly available or available in one space. And I think that accessibility to, education and to facts is really important. And so I've tried to take that on myself and, create these materials. So yeah, if you visit the website, I think they might be on there. If not, that is a project for me in the next few days. So check back soon. Those are on there, and look out for one on renewables soon. But that kind of covers some of the breadth of work that I do at Protect PT. And I am here to pass it on to, I believe, Jillian.
Yeah, thank you so much, Grace. Yeah, Grace is definitely the fact sheet queen. She can whip up a fact sheet, and it's just really wonderful to have such a wonderful, engaging staff. Now that you've met them all, you may interact with our staff on a regular basis, and Grace is going to be your point person if you have questions about the rezone. We've been getting a ton of calls about that. If you want protections or protective ordinances in your community, particularly if you're a community leader, definitely reach out to Jim. If you're interested in air monitoring in your community or radon in your home, definitely reach out to Yvonne. Tom can help you with any kind of policies that you want to propose at your local in your local community. Dylan's on the back end helping us with our legal strategy. We've got Emily, any of our Instagram, Emily's helping with, and our wonderful educational programs that Natalie's working to provide for everyone, as well as like the sustainability work, which is really an important part of our organization that May is helping with. So everybody in our organization has a really integral role to play, and we're really happy to invite you all into our world a little bit today. And so I'm actually the executive director of the organization and a founding member. So this organization was founded, I guess it was, so technically December is when we started organizing for one of the first hearings that they had in February of 2015. So technically our 10-year anniversary of organizing is in December this year, but our official nonprofit birthday is in April of 2015, and we're really excited. Natalie's going to be putting together a really awesome event for us, and with the support of our other folks in the organization helping out, including our wonderful volunteer board that helps us with a lot of stuff. So that's one of the things that I do. I work with the board and liaison with them to make sure that they have all the information that they can govern our organization, provide feedback to the work that we're doing, direct the work that we're doing within the organization. I lead all the folks here. Really, we sit down one-on-one pretty much every week and talk about the work, making sure everyone else is involved and knows what we're doing, because a lot of times what we do, Yvonne has a science piece that then Jim needs or Tom needs. And so we're all really working together very closely to make sure that we are bringing these different elements of the work to the stakeholders directly. So we try to think about all the things that need to be done within the organization to make sure that we can, really move forward with bringing protections to the community, because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. And so I also, keep an eye on our grants and help writing our grants. I work with funders to provide funding for the organization. So we are a very people-powered organization. As you can see, all these wonderful people do work all the time, and it's a ton of work that they're all doing every single day behind the scenes to make sure our organization is able to protect the community in Westmoreland and Allegheny County. So, making sure that everything is, keeping straight here, and really engaging with the community directly, because before we had a community organizer, before we had a comms manager, before we had a policy person, it was kind of all down to me and a couple other people. We're really, really happy that we have the support that we do from the our funders, our funding partners, that we can employ so many wonderful people to do this work now. And it has been a tremendous help for us as we've grown and we do more work in the community, that we have a lot of wonderful, dedicated people to do that work. So that's kind of a little bit about what I do at Protect PT. I did graduate from Duquesne University, and I don't even remember the year. I'll have to think about what's on my transcript. But graduated from Duquesne University with a bachelor's in professional communications and computer technology, as well as, like I said, I am the co-founder of this organization. It started in my living room with a bunch of neighbors getting together from Penn Township and Trafford and thinking about what we were going to do to fight, at the time, 2 fracking wells. And currently there are 12 proposed, but not all have been built, thanks to the hard work that our organization has done over the years. Making sure that fracking waste and all of the other existential things and other elements of this industry go are shed we shed light on these issues, because at the end of the day, it's really, for us, it's about transparency and understanding that whether it's the local level, the state level, or a federal level, that there's transparency in the process and people understand what's going on in their backyard. Because everybody wants to understand what's going in their backyard. Everyone wants to be able to live in their house free from contamination, and really be able to live their lives and have a quality of life that they want within their own space. So that's what we try to provide for the community. Here you can see I really love to go biking with my kids and my niece, Mix. So that is we're on the Westmoreland Heritage Trail a lot. It runs right by my house, and it's a really wonderful way to connect with the community, and be able to cycle from here to export is kind of cool. We also this year we took a big trip. My kids got on a plane for the first time. We went to Santa Monica, which was really exciting. I am also the proud parent of a cat and dog, including my 2 awesome kids. So my dog Dancer loves his pumpkin. There, he's wearing it as a hat. And Maya, who is 20 years old, she is a very old cat. And my awesome kids, Aiden and Lily. Aiden is at Penn Trafford High as a sophomore, and Lily will be joining him next year as a freshman, and just really tremendous kids. They've been working on this with me and come around to rallies and stuff with me since they were itty bitty. So really a good part of the organization, and good volunteers too. They volunteer their some hours here during the summer and when they're on break. So if you go to the next screen. Yep. So we do the fall festival parade every year, and my kids help with that. That's the top left corner. I also speak in public a lot at press conferences. This is actually the press conference for the Protective Buffers campaign, which we're talking about that means that it's basically increasing the distance between humans and fracking, which, fracking is harmful to human health. So that's why we want there to be more distance. I mean, it seems pretty logical, right? But we have to convince our state government that is the right thing to do. I was also really proud last year to receive the Community Sentinel Award. That is an award given nationally by a select few people every year with Frack Tracker Alliance. And Halt the Harm Network, and that is actually coming up again here in a couple weeks. They're going to do the Sentinel Awards again this year, so it's really exciting. I had a lot of fun with my team. You can see there to the left, some team members there with me, our board chair. We had a lot of fun that night. And of course, with my kids and my husband there on the bottom right. So, it's definitely like this is a family affair, so to speak. We have a lot of fun here, not only with our staff as our Protect PT family, but also our board members and my kids are a really big part of the organization as well. And so before we head off today, I just want to check the chat to see if anybody has questions. I know that there are some folks watching this, and thank you for watching. If folks want to pop some questions in the chat, go for it. I'm actually popping in the chat the link for our events. Just want to talk about a couple events that are coming up really quickly here. We have next up, December 2nd, we have our Run for Office training, and that's where our board chair, Lois, and Tom will be talking about how to run for office. We do not get involved in elections as a 501c3, but we can teach people how to do things, right? And so one of the things we can teach people how to do is how to run for office. And then there are other people that are, called 501c4s that can actually help those folks if they want to take that step. So we're going to be training people on how to get involved in their own local community to hopefully be able to institute protections that they want to see in their community. Also, Natalie is planning a really fun winter wreath fundraiser. That's going to be a wreath making fundraiser on December 7th. So please join us that Saturday. We're going to be making a wreath. Making wreaths for individuals. It is $20 for a ticket, and we're also going to have some really great raffles. So bring some extra cash if you intend to come, and please sign up ahead of time because Natalie is actually gathering all the materials right now, and we want to make sure we have enough materials for everybody. So it is limited space in our office here, but we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have some food, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Also on December 13th, which is my birthday, we're going to be having our 2024 holiday party. That's where all of our members and our board and our staff get together and just have a lot of fun. That's going to be at the Blue Room in Claridge. Really excited for that. It's like one of my most favorite events every year. And then we also have for TICWAC, there are 2 events coming up. If folks are interested, there's going to be a native winter planting sowing workshop. So a seed sowing workshop in Penn Hills. And also there's going to be another workshop, similar workshop at CC Mellor Library in Edgewood. So those are some awesome events coming up. We also have other events that we're planning right now during our Living Near Shale Gas workshop series. We're going to have some events coming up here soon by the end of the year, and just a lot of other really fun events by the end of the year. And of course, don't forget to get involved. There is actually a rezoning meeting happening tonight at the Penn Township Municipal Building at 6:30. Grace and Jim and I will be there, and we're going to be, helping residents navigate that situation that's coming up here. We are also looking for feedback on next year's Lunch and Learn. So Natalie is going to be starting to gather that information. This is our last Lunch and Learn of the year. So our next Lunch and Learn will be in January on the 28th, and we want to hear from you. If there are specific topics or specific guests that you would like to see, please let us know. There's a survey you can take online, and you can give us your feedback. And Natalie, if you go ahead to the next slide. And of course, it is the giving season, so we want to really ask that folks in the community, as well as here in the region, support the work that we do, because all of these folks that you were just introduced to, they do a lot of really important work every single day. And so your support in that work is so important, and we thank you for that support. Emily mentioned the Giving Tuesday. I popped the link to that in the chat. That's actually happening in December for Give Big. But also, you don't have to wait till the Give Big Day to give. If you don't want to, you can donate now, or you can wait and donate then. But we are a nonprofit, so we really rely on those donations to do the work that we do. So with that, it is actually 1 o'clock. We have filled up a whole hour, which I'm betting that each one of us could probably talk for an hour each. But yeah, so thank you to all of the folks that joined in today. And I hope that we see you very soon. I'm sure you're going to be talking to one of us soon. And yeah, have a wonderful holiday season. Look forward to seeing you at one of our events soon. And yeah, anyone have any other things to say before we hop off today? Anybody want to get off mute and say goodbye?
See you later.
Goodbye, everyone. Hope to see you soon.
Bye,
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.